Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Loba Speaks. I am your host Great, and if you are watching on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. Do not forget to subscribe, leave us a like and a comment, and if you're listening on Spotify, do not forget to give us a follow and a 5-star rating. In today's episode, I would love for us to actually have a conversation, right? And before I even sat here, I had so many ideas of the conversation that I would like for us to have this week, and my mind kept going in many directions as to should I make like a follow-up of the last week's episode where we spoke about how to recognize that you are the one sabotaging yourself and it's not some outside entity or outside forces, or continuation to that. And I had other ideas as well, but I think I'm just going to stick with discussing or allowing us to have a conversation like a continuity of last week. So last week we focused more on the mental blocks, the conscious and the subconscious ways in which we self-sabotage, how we sabotage our relationships, our friendships, our happiness, essentially, right? So the continuation would then be the opposite, which is okay, I no longer sabotage myself, I no longer sabotage my blessings, I no longer fear that anyone or any outside energy is going to come in and take away my joy and my newfound success. Right now it's a matter of how do I regulate myself, how do I regulate my nerves, how do I maintain this newfound power? Because remember, we spoke about how you have to be aware of what the patterns are and then break them. So now that you've noticed what the patterns are and you've broken them, it's a breakthrough. Now you realize your power, you realize your blessings, you realize that okay, I can call in so much more for myself. But how do you regulate your system? How do you convince yourself that these blessings that just came in are mine? Let me give a scenario or a story. Let's say, for instance, that you recently just have a breakthrough in your finances. You secured a job, it's paying you really well, and you're doing a really good job at your workplace, even though the dynamics might not be healthy, but you love the money, you love the benefits that it comes with, right? But you are someone that has worked in so many different industries with so many different people with different backgrounds, politics and all those things. So as much as you are happy about, oh, I just got this new job, it pays me well, it's perfect for me, it's like it was made for me, your conditioning again might start to be like, oh God, but like, how do I maintain this blessing? Am I disciplined enough to keep this blessing? Am I wise enough to multiply this blessing? And you then replay in your mind of how you never really last at these jobs, even though you go there and you learn, how do I maintain this job? And remember, in this scenario that I'm trying to explain, it comes with like the financial aspect of things, in the sense that it's a beautiful stability for you, but because you've never handled this type of blessing, this type of manifestation, the magnitude of it, not only will you sabotage like we spoke about last week, because remember, you are now in a place where you've learned the patterns, you know that you sabotage, but how do I actually maintain my blessings? How do I actually let myself wake up to the idea that I can maintain this blessing, and this blessing is for sure mine? One of the things that I do, or that I did because I was in this type of scenario, is to regulate my nerve system, to remind myself that again, I'm deserving of this blessing, and to take practical steps and have practical rituals of reminding myself that these are my blessings that I called in. I actually had the power to call them in, and this is how I'm going to maintain them. In my previous series, The Art of the Comeback, I gave practical examples many times, and I'd like to do that again now, which is one of the things that actually helped me believe that I can live in luxury, I can live a soft life, I am worthy of beautiful things coming in and lasting, are these rituals that I'm about to share, which are journaling, praying, meditating, and grounding. And not everybody is religious, right? So if praying is not your thing, I really encourage you to at least meditate, you connect with whatever and whoever you see as your higher self. And journaling is one of the most powerful ways to bring whatever is in your mind, whatever is in your head out. Writing things down is one of the most beautiful way to bring your manifestations into fruition, to have a clear mind. Now, what are we journaling about? We're journaling about how, even though we've never experienced this level of breakthrough before, we've never experienced this level of success before, and we're not sure how to handle it, we haven't actually seen someone in our circle reach this level of success. And remember, success is different for everybody. For some people, the breakthrough might look like, oh, I'm actually the first person to buy a car in our house. I'm actually the first person to get married. I'm actually the first person to be able to go on a vacation, to be able to afford to go on vacations. Like, if you're not used to that type of lifestyle, the lifestyle that you're trying to build for yourself, the lifestyle that you're trying to cultivate for yourself, there will still be some sort of fear, right? There will still be that voice, like, first of all, what's going on? Like, your mind, your body, the inside of you would still be like disorientated, because it's trying to accept that, okay, I haven't actually seen someone close to me experience this type of success and blessings that I've managed to call in. One of the best ways to be able to regulate yourself is to meditate and write things down, journal, and do your affirmations, because your mind will play tricks on you, and our brain is so used to comfort that once you try to reach certain goals and you try to push and go after what you want, it will literally feel like I'm in danger, red zone, right? The best ways to calm these nerves is to talk to yourself in the most positive ways. Allow yourself to understand that, yes, even though there hasn't been a lot of people that I know or that are in our family that have been able to afford to go on 2, 3, 4 vacations if they wanted to in a year, who has been able to start a business and successfully close out on deals, I will be the odd one out, and I will do this by speaking positively about myself. I should not look in the mirror and say, why do I have to be the one to deserve this? Why is it that this grace did not locate anybody else in my family? I'm not worthy of it. One of the biggest ways where we mess up with our manifestations, instead of actually asking for the wisdom to multiply it and the discipline to maintain it, is fear, right? We are too afraid of what we call in. Sometimes our own manifestations can scale us to the point that, I don't want to say sabotage it, but literally run away from it. Like, you'd run so fast because you haven't been able to experience that, right? So again, how do we regulate this nerve system? How do we regulate ourselves? Through prayers, through grounding, through affirmations. I love words of affirmations because I'm someone who believes that she calls things into existence. Therefore, one of the best ways that I ground myself and help myself meditate is to speak things into existence and to allow myself to believe it. right? And remember, there's power in repetition. What you constantly tell yourself is what would be your reality, is the vibration you would be in, is the frequency that you will be in. So if you're someone who's always like, oh, why do I deserve that vacation? I have to hustle before I make it in this life. Oh no, no one in our lineage again has ever been able to go on vacations for once a year. So why do I deserve it? I'm undeserving of it. But I feel like the biggest problem when we actually call in our blessings is fear. Fear of I will lose it, fear of I've never experienced this before, fear of what will people think of me, am I gonna be like a changed person? Like, so many people are actually scared of success because it might change them, and this can happen subconsciously without them even knowing. Some people are actually brought up in a system, in a household where money and success are seen as the devil. And I feel like a lot of Christians misconstrue what the Bible meant when it said that money is the root of all evil. In my opinion, I don't think money is the root of all evil. I think what you do with money, it determines if it's the root of evil. For example, if you get the money and you're able to build the lifestyle that you want and sustain it, help others out when you can, save, invest, how is that evil? But if you're someone who uses your money to control, manipulate, deceive, that's where it becomes the root of all evil. So yes, what happens when you actually call in your manifestations and you've already crossed out the whole I self-sabotage and good things just don't last when they come to me? When you've actually upgraded from those type of thought patterns and you're now in a place of, okay, I'm open to these blessings fully, I'm here to receive it, and they actually literally in that same moment knock on your door and say, here we are, how do you regulate yourself to actually accept it? So the thing is, you need to already tell yourself that whatever you are seeking is seeking you, and everything that you want is already yours. That way, when it shows up at your doorstep randomly on a blessed day, you are already embodying it. You've already embraced it. You've already called it in. You've already visualized it in your mind of what it would look like and feel like, what the outcome would be. So there won't be room for fear of you even feeling dysregulated about it and then unconsciously sending it away. When my blessings show up, am I regulated enough to accept it? So it's kind of like quantum jumping as well, where it's like you wake up one day and it's almost like your prayers are answered and you're living in your wildest dreams. Like that actually happens, right? You wake up and you're like, oh my geez, I'm actually in New York. I'm actually in New York. And you know, if your system is not used to that already, it might dysregulate you for a very long time where you're not even sure what your to-do list is, and then you end up messing those manifestations up as well because you're not ready. So again, the best ways to embrace these blessings when they come is to already embrace them before they even show up in the 3D, already calling them in, already giving thanks for them, already moving, walking, talking, engaging with others as though it already is. Again, I love listening to teachings from Napoleon Hill, Bob Proctor. They encourage these things. So do key into them. Listen to people who encourage you positively, whether they are experts in that field or a friend, a family. Me, because I know what I'm talking about. I've seen it come into fruition. Some of the things that I've practiced, that I've listened to, and that I've truly contributed to my reality in the most positive ways. Parting for this episode, I would just again love to encourage you to embrace your blessings before they even show up. Know what you want, write it down, meditate on them, accept them, consciously and subconsciously. Be aware of the thoughts you put into your thoughts. Be aware of how intentional you are with what you want and the steps that you take on them at all times, and give gratitude. before it even shows up. Smile about it, speak on it to yourself as though it already is, and that'll help regulate your system when you finally quantum jump. That is all I have for this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, remember, if you are watching on YouTube, do not forget to subscribe, give us a like and a comment. Let's continue the conversation. And if you are listening on Spotify, do not forget to give us a follow and a 5-star rating. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.